Monolith Soft is set to shock the world once again, proving that they are one of the best developers in the industry with a brand new game that they are working on. And in this video, we're going to break down the new post that Monolith Soft has put up for recruiting for a new RPG, in addition to everything that this could possibly mean. Now, I've been following this new RPG that they've been working on for multiple years now, and there is a lot to be drawn just from even this little post here. And I'm going to be referencing back to what they said about previous Xenoblade games in an interview about wrapping up Xenoblade Chronicles 3 development and how it factors into everything that we're going to talk about. So it is going to be a doozy here. I'm very excited to get into it. But before we do, what's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you are someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first. Now let's go ahead and first jump into the post that took the world by storm a little bit, at least the RPG niche community over there on Twitter by storm, and on different websites, about Monolith Soft. These are the developers behind the hit Xenoblade series. They made Xenosaga, Xenogears, Baten Kaitos. I mean, the list goes on. And they are also developer support for some of Nintendo's biggest games out there, like The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Splatoon 3, and Animal Crossing. So let's get right into this post here. So Monolith Soft first team production team hiring for a new RPG directed by Tetsuya Takahashi, and that's the big thing here. What is Monolith Soft first production team? This is going to be directed by him, so you know this is the big dog. This is the top of the top when it comes to Monolith Soft and them directing their games, not a support type of game or helping out development with the Animal Crossing team or something like that. This is a new RPG for them, but I want to get directly into it because he confirms it, or at least Monolith Soft confirms it themselves. So they say in a message on a hiring website, Takahashi said that while he could not go into further details, the new RPG is taking on more new challenges compared to previous Monolith Soft titles. Now, open positions for the new RPG include a 2D artwork staff designer, 3D CG character designer, 3D CG map designer, development environment engineer, field level designer, assistant director, in-game animator, and effects designer. So definitely pretty in-depth overall in terms of what they are looking for. And the thing that strikes me with this is, of course, them saying new so many times. Like if you look at the quote tweet that I'll put up for you guys, it says the new RPG is taking on many new challenges compared to previous Monolith Soft titles. They're probably talking about Xenoblade Chronicles there, because that's what they've been working on for the last decade or so, decade plus actually. At this point, they haven't really worked on anything outside of Xenoblade in terms of Takahashi Team 1, Monolith Soft first team production, because you have to remember Monolith Soft has multiple teams in multiple locations. When they expanded with Nintendo, when Nintendo purchased them a decade plus ago, going on 2 decades now, they basically expanded them to, one, just be right where they're at, but also help them hire more to where they can help out, because their expertise when it comes to game development is second to none. Monolith Soft is one of the best when it comes to technical preciseness of what they do, especially working on hardware that they work on. Whatever system they're working on, they will get the most and best out of that system to the best of their ability. So they have very high level of expertise, and they've taught that to their employees that work there. Now, I do want to get into a number of things here because there are so many questions with this that you guys have. So the first question that I've been seeing quite a bit is this game a new IP, or is it a Xenoblade Chronicles game that's kind of reinventing itself? Well, I personally feel that it could be either or, but I do think I'm leaning more on the side of that it's a brand new IP. And the reason why is that because he clearly distinguishes, hey, this is a new game and it's different, challenging many conventions that they had. Now, you can have a game that is not a new IP. You can have The Legend of Zelda, for example, Breath of the Wild, that challenged many of the previous conventions of the other Zelda games, or even The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, which challenged many of the conventions of the previous Zelda games. So just because they're saying new RPG, new things, new this, new that, that doesn't mean necessarily it's a brand new IP. But when he says it's a new RPG with new things that are moving away from before, I do think based off of that and the previous recruitment that they did have, I do feel that this is more on the side of branching off and doing something different that basically has that Monolith Soft flair to it. If you've played, like for example, Xenosaga or Xenogears, Xenoblade, all of those games play differently, look a little bit different here and there, obviously different hardware and all of that. But at the end of the day, you can kind of feel, yeah, that's a Monolith Soft type of game. Although they play differently, they could be doing something like that, where it's something else. It's like Xeno whatever else, but there is that, okay, yeah, this is Monolith Soft. Or they could really just do something completely different and a new IP that just challenges everything to where it's a brand new style of game, which I am kind of leaning more towards that they're going to completely change the battle system. It's going to be something completely different and very different with certain flares that Monolith Soft has, because that's what you see across their titles for the most part. So I do think that it's going to be a new IP. Now, those drawings that we saw, I don't really think that they really mean anything. The drawings before, some people were saying, oh, are those the new IP? Is that what the character is going to be like or anything? I don't think so. I think it's just some concept art. It's just some stuff for recruitment. They just put together something that looks like fantasy or whatever for like Monolith Soft. That looked cool, that people would think, oh, wow, that's cool. I want to work there. Because recruiting and getting the top talent or getting the best young talent, that's so important to making great games. I mean, people think that it's all just about money, money, money. How much money do you put into something? And yeah, don't get me wrong, you're going to need money, but at the end of the day, you need skilled, talented people to get it done. And there are people who are not skilled and talented, but are looking to still make that type of money, right? So you have to get the right people at the right place, right time for the job. And Monolith Soft has been able to do that over the years. Now, I do feel that there's a very important thing that we need to get into with this, and that is the interview that Monolith Soft had with Nintendo, and it was at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. They were talking essentially about the game and the DLC a little bit. No spoilers or anything like that, but they're just talking about all of the stuff that they did for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And in one of the parts at the very end, there was a question that was asked, and it says this: finally, I would like to ask Yokota-san a question. You mentioned that this title is the accumulation of the series, but am I right to assume that the Xenoblade Chronicles series will still go on? And then Yokota says, yes, it will still go on. I want to keep it going as long as possible. And then they say, thank you very much. So I do feel that even if this is not a Xenoblade game or Xenoblade Chronicles or whatever the case is, I still think that they will circle back around to Xenoblade Chronicles, whether that's going to make a sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles X, or if it's going to make a whole new different type of Xeno something else where they integrate some other games and things. I do feel that they will circle back to it, but for right now, they might just try something different. Now, I do want to make sure that I say this. I could be completely wrong on this. It could be a new Xenoblade Chronicles this, and it's basically not Xenoblade Chronicles 4. It's just called like Xenoblade Chronicles something else, like Rebirth or Xenoblade Chronicles whatever, right? Resurrection or whatever the case is, right? It could be something completely different in that universe, or it could be something that's just a new IP. So I want to make sure that I'm clear. I'm not 100% on exactly what's going to happen. I'm just leaning more towards a new IP and a new style of game, just based off of what's happened, the recruitment before, what they're saying at this point. Now, I do also want to say what this recruiting means, because I think that there are some people who think that they're just starting up. Oh, well, now they're just starting up, so the game's going to be done in like 3 or 4 years. No, that's not the case. They've been working on this game for a while. Remember, they had a number of years ago recruiting for a new RPG as well, where people started saying, oh, is this the new IP? Is it a new IP? This is the same thing. I don't think that this is a vastly different thing here. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of those could have been for the support teams or something else, but I do feel that ultimately reshuffling and kind of reassigning and saying, okay, hey, here's what we're going to be doing is going on at Monolith Soft, especially if you're talking about a Monolith Soft first production team working on the big game. They're definitely going to get the best talent, and I think that right now at this point, this game's probably already been in development for at least 2 to 3 years, and they're really trying to nail down when it comes to, okay, getting this game cleaned up, getting it finished, bringing in the people that can help us get to the finish line overall. And we've seen this a lot in gaming. You'll have games that are in development for a while, 2-3 years or so, and then they will still be recruiting to help get more people in so they can finish this one up, because games take a long time, especially big RPGs with content. They take a long time to finish, and I think that's what's going on here with Monolith Soft and the recruiting. So this doesn't mean that they're just starting the game. It means that they're trying to get this baby to the finish line, which is going to move into my next point here. And I do think that they are gearing up for this to be shown at the Nintendo Switch 2 event. Whenever they have that big Switch 2 event, I think they're going to do it very similar to the Nintendo Switch when that was announced in October, and then there was a big event in January, then it was launched in March. They want to have a blitz of great information for people to get excited about. And Monolith Soft over the years has always been one of those teams with their games to really show off what a system can do. Even when they didn't have faith in them, that was still a game with Xenoblade Chronicles that showed off that, hey, you can make a huge RPG on this system that really doesn't have much RAM, isn't really strong at all, but you can make a massive RPG if you've got the team and if you've got the willpower to get it done. Obviously with the Wii U, they proved that again. You can make a massive, huge open world RPG that's just as good as anything else on the market if you've got the team that really knows what they're doing. Then they did it again with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, but 3 in particular, probably their best technical showcase for an open world RPG on the Nintendo Switch, in my opinion, at least. So I do feel that this is going to be one of those games. This new title is going to be something that's going to be a showpiece for the next Nintendo Switch to show what it can do for the dedicated fans of Monolith Soft out there. So Nintendo's used their games before. I think they're going to use their games again. Now, personally, for me, what excites me the most about this is essentially it's Monolith Soft. Monolith Soft always makes some of the best games overall. If you look at Monolith Soft's track record, man, their games, while not perfect, and no game has to be perfect, it comes up perfectly in terms of how you feel about the game. To me, like how I felt about them weaving together all of the different Xenoblade games, them weaving together some of the other titles and the story and what they do, it's just exquisite. It's so well done better than many other games out there. And Xenoblade Chronicles finished on such a great note, in my opinion. Still some questions and some stuff here and there, but it finished on such a great note. And for them to be able to do that was incredible. But I think that the biggest thing for me is the fact that they've been able to create one of the more perfect blends of action game and RPG. They've been able to create a blend that is tactical enough to where if you're a strategy RPG fan or if you're a turn-based fan, you can get into this. But also at the same time, if you're an action RPG fan, you can say, okay, I can move around, I can do different things, I can still kind of go. So it's really a hybrid blend of some of the best aspects of, I would say, like even like MMOs or that style, or turn-based RPGs, action RPGs. It doesn't feel button mashy. And I think that's the best thing about it. It doesn't feel as slow as maybe some turn-based RPGs, but then again, it doesn't feel as button mashy and mindless as other action RPGs. It really has that perfect hybrid blend that creates a lot of complex things in the game and the UI to be overloaded. But at the same time, if you take the time to actually understand and learn the combat system, it's one of the best systems out there. And I think that's why there's so many dedicated core fans of Xenoblade out there that will be in the millions to buy the game. Yes, not the most popular, but I think that people are dedicated and excited about Monolith Soft because of the expertise and the type of games that they make. They're just really in depth. They always have a ton of content in there, and you know that they're going to write and make a great game overall. So to me, that's super exciting. Monolith Soft is just one of the best, if not the best. They are my favorite developer from Nintendo. Like if I had to pick one, I'm like Monolith Soft, they're my favorites. I think they make some of the greatest games. So that's the exciting thing about it. And also another huge exciting thing about this, it's going to be the music. The music in Xenoblade is to me the best. Xenoblade has the best, right up there with Chrono Trigger, right up there with some of the goated RPGs out there. And I think that the tone, the style, the sleekness, and who they get, will it be Yasunori Mitsuda, the legendary Mr. Mitsuda, to get this one done? Who are they going to bring in order to really put together the emotion, the feel, the tenseness of what they do? Because music is so important in Xenoblade Chronicles games. It's so important to have that vibe, to have that style, to have that flow. And I think that that is going to be a big question that I cannot wait to see what they actually do with that. I hope they bring back Mr. Yasunori Mitsuda, but if they don't, obviously they're going to bring someone that's going to be able to create the style and flavor that they need for this game. So I'm very excited to see that as well, because music is so important in RPGs, especially long RPGs where you're going to be listening to a lot of battle themes and a lot of boss themes and all that. You want to have some lit stuff, and Monolith Soft really hasn't failed on that in pretty much any game that I've played of theirs. What are your thoughts on this, guys, when it comes to Monolith Soft, when it comes to the new Monolith Soft Production 1 RPG here. What do you guys think it's going to be? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch and RPG videos right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.